Massive unemployment, not exactly the stuff of fond memories. But will 1992 be any better? It's hard to know unless you have a personal view into the future, and that's exactly what psychics or clairvoyants will tell you they have. So we sent Joe Wathan to find out what 3 stargazers are predicting for 1992 and whether they agree with each other.
There's a truth to everything, and there's a way of looking at things where one can perceive the truth.
It's a new year, we're in a recession, and more than ever people are wanting to know what the future holds. Enter Victor Voets, astrologer and numerologist. For a fee ranging from $60 to $190, constructive guidance can be yours.
They go away with a sort of an air or an awareness that there's something deeper to life than just the externals. I suppose it's a bit like a psychiatrist as well, or even a bit like a priest as well, I suppose.
Victor is also president of the Sydney Astrological Research Society and says he can provide a client with an accurate outline of their situation and likely outcomes. And he's willing to predict 1992.
When we go into the year of the monkey, which is from February the 4th, people will feel a lot more optimistic. They'll feel a lot more expansive. They'll be more tempted to take a gamble. In a way, it'll be a turning point in the so-called recessionary phase we're going through.
Next year is going to be a consolidation period. The second half of the year will be a growth period. And then
Psychic Simon Turnbull, president of the Australian Psychics Association, says he predicted Keating's successful rise to PM last month.
Keating will have a crisis in March, which will make it look a bit bad for him. And then it'll start to come good in April. By May, June, it's clear the crisis is over.
Simon hopes to set up Australia's first psychic hotline later this year and looks forward to a time when all of us use the services of a psychic.
Settling into a pattern.
During our visit, private investigator Frank Monte dropped by for one of his regular sessions.
Over the past 4 or 5 years, I've personally used him to find people, to check out people's veracity, whether they're telling us the truth as clients sometimes.
With the aid of a pair of underpants belonging to a missing person, Simon can tune in and hopefully provide Frank with a location.
So there's 2 movements, and that second place seems to be the area to investigate.
You're talking about Brisbane again?
Yeah. People don't come back to psychics because they're wrong. They come back because they're right.
What do you say to the skeptics?
The funny thing is that most people aren't that critical. You get people who are critical for a reason. They have an ulterior motive for being critical.
Kiri Hope Cleveland is a psychic with a warning. She is being critical of her own kind and does have an ulterior motive.
There is too many shonks out there that give me a bad reputation.
For every real psychic, how many shonks are there?
I'd say there'd be 10, 12 charlatans.
Kiri is a young mother who does make a living as a psychic. She charges $50 for each reading and condemns any psychic or other type of medium who charges more than $80.
I always tell my clients it's $10 extra for lies.
It's also no good asking her for predictions.
It might sound catty, but I think a lot of the time they might be playing the odds.
Keating is likely to get re-elected.
I see that Houston stars are sufficiently good to say that whenever election's held, it's most likely we'll get in.
Then, especially into 93, there's a lot of easing off at that point. Because a lot of the business people we've been seeing have got the classic combination in 93 of growth.
It won't be the end of the recession, but it'll be the beginning stage to the end of the recession. I see the recession is still lasting another few years.
They would probably say, oh, I really feel that the recession is going to continue for a little while. We're still going to see a few hard times. How's that different to what Keating says?
Joe Wathan with psychics and their views for the short-term future. After the break, a glimpse at the long-term future.